Hey guys, so I just want to make a quick video on people trying to invest in or think of investing in Terastal Festival versus Prismatic Evolutions. And I don't know if people talk about this particular aspect of looking at it, but I think that there's comparisons of them to each other because obviously one is Japanese version, one is the English version, and Prismatic Evolutions might be part of another set in Japanese because that commonly happens, but other than that, um, there are some sets that I do feel like that you could look at the data and try to do a comparison. And so I'm gonna go over those sets right now. And those sets are the English and Japanese versions of 151, Crown Zenith. The Japanese version is V-Star Universe, and the obviously Evolving Skies because of all the EVs. So they all have slightly different things to them, which makes it so not like there's no one of those sets that's apples to apples. And so like this is just what to think about when you're looking at them. So the first one's 151. Um, so I have the English one, and everyone knows that 151 is really hyped up right now. So why did people get to 151? So 151 was part of the catalyst to this bull market. I do feel like because a lot of people it basically brought a lot of money into the market. If you look at it from a more business point of view. A lot of people, they grew up with Pokemon as a kid, and it was an entry point to them because everyone they remembered Charizard, Venusaur, Blastoise, like all the starters, and so like it just brought and like the cards are so nice. Like these cards are absolutely beautiful. Usually, in a lot of sets, there's only like a couple of really nice cards, but these cards like some of them aren't as high as I thought they'd be by now, but even like so, just even though like there's not like multiple over $100 cards in the set, like you look at these like this is like a smaller mid tier set might just have like these three top chases. It costs like that, and then the rest aren't really that good. I think actually Stellar Crown's like that a little bit right now. Um, and part of the reason why like the arts are just so good that like if the top things weren't there, like these other ones would probably pick up and like um, replace them. Um, but yeah, that's 151. So a lot of people got into it because of just the nostalgia aspect. And 151, it did have sort of a price dip at some point. Like earlier during the year, like you could get 151 for kind of cheap in English. Like Costco, I think one of the famous ones of that UPC's Ultra Premium collections, they're selling for like 90, 80, $90, maybe 95 after tax and shipping or whatever, at Costco, and that's like 14 packs. Um, and so it was just like a really good deal. And booster bundles, like they're selling out now. Everyone knows 151 selling out now for like double. Like usually for a specialty set like this, a 7-5 booster box, the pack should be about $5 a pack. And then after that, sort of like, well, is the set good? Is there a discount like Shroud Fable? Like the packs went down a lot. Palladium Fates, the packs went down. Everyone like that thing's also rising up now, but like still, it was a little hard to get like really that cheap. Um, but yeah, so like that's why people got on 151. But then if you look at the comparison in Japanese, like why do people buy Japanese one? Well, um, like two important things. So one of them is that the Japanese booster box comes with 20 packs, versus when you buy a let's say an ETB, then you would get I'm gonna say roughly 10 packs. Like they keep messing with the number nowadays, so it's like 9 or 10 or 11 or like something like that. And then like obviously there's I'm talking about the regular one, not the Pokemon Center one. Um, but yeah, like just bang for your buck. So we'll just talk MSRP first. So MSRP for this is let's say about $50. It might have been like 35 or 40. I don't think it was released ever at that price, but let's say it was $50. And then an ETB for 151 would be about $50. So it's like 10 packs versus 20 packs. So each pack would be let's say like 250. So you get more packs, and so that's already one reason buying Japanese because not everyone like likes Japanese. Like some people like Japanese because, and not everyone knows this, but the print quality is higher. Like the cards are better quality. Like the quality control is just better, and that's why people like Japanese. But obviously you can't read it, and if you want to play with it, you can't necessarily play with it. But yeah, there's a market for Japanese, but like if you're if you're in the United States, then obviously a lot of people want English. That's the normal thing. Um, if you're also in the United States, like some people, it might be harder for people to find the Japanese products or don't know where to get them, and you have to pay like import fees and stuff. And that's why like it was probably closer to $50 at some point because like even at 30 of it, like there's always like a markup if you buy in the United States, unless there's like a really like the set's not doing well, the economy's not doing well or something. Like recently the Japanese yen wasn't very strong. I think it's probably getting a little stronger. That's also the reason why 151, um, like I don't know, let's say like half a year ago, it went down to $50 in Japanese, because it was overprinted. But also like the yen versus the dollar was just a lot weaker. But that's not the case. I think it's gone better. I don't actually know the facts on that. Okay, but another significant thing which they introduced first in 151, and they've done this a lot. Well, I've seen this happen more recently. Like the first product's also like always really remembered and really hyped up, and the second one like it possibly does well. So a good example of this is the Celebrations, which is a further back. Like they had this ultra premium collection. I think it was like one of the first ones. So ultra premium collections are just things that have like a few promo cards. Like sometimes there's like I think they had a metal card, like a metal Charizard and Pikachu, and then they had some good promos, and they had like a bunch of packs. Um, they might have also had like a lot of like other packs. Like it was just a lot of packs. And those things were selling like crazy. And then they came out with the Charizard one, Ultra Pure Collection, and like it was selling like crazy at first, but then like they just overproduced it to the point where it was like really cheap to get at some point. Um, but yeah, so these are the most like if you look at here like um, on English on 151, like the most expensive cards are Charizard. Not that surprising, but in Japanese, like the top cards are actually the Scanning Card and Pikachu. It's like, well, what's so great about them? Well, if you look closely, like it says Master Ball, and like it's kind of hard to see maybe for people who don't know about it, but like it's an M there, and there's two little circle thingies over there, and that differentiates from the Pokeball version. So basically, they had these reverse hollows, and they have Master Balls, and they're harder to pull because you get like I think one Master Ball. So Japanese has guaranteed pull rates. So I think that the guaranteed pull rates is one Master Ball per box. So you buy one box, you get 20 packs, and ideally, if you're collecting Master Balls, you should probably just buy the boxes or buy the singles. If you buy loose packs, like people will weigh them, or there's scams that are involved where you could open packs until you hit the Master Ball. And also so there's two things you want from a Japanese box if you're gonna try to scam people is that you open the packs until you pull the SIR, which is the rarest card, which is guaranteed per set, and then the Master Ball also. And then like you'll be left over some packs. So just probability wise, there's 20 packs. Like you'll probably be left over a few packs. Maybe those packs have good things. You can also try weighing the packs because in Japanese, I don't think they have the code cards, and so but I don't actually know if that's true. So don't call me on that. In Terastal Festival, like things with God packs stuff, like there's true stuff with that, but there's a bunch of shady things you could do with loose packs. We'll just do that. If you want to know more about that, like I'll link the Terrestrial Festival scam video that I had that I posted recently, and that will give you some ideas of how people can scam you. Um, but yeah, so just summarize like um, you buy Japanese because it's cheaper, you get more bang for your buck. There's guaranteed pull rates. There's a Master Ball thing, and the Master Ball is only introduced in Japanese and not English. That was another reason to buy um, in Japanese. And another reason was that since there were so many cards, since so many packs, and there was guaranteed pull rates, people just enjoyed opening Japanese a lot. Like if you look at box openings, like people really liked opening it because like there was a good amount of pulls, and so you're very happy with what you got. And they just did a good balance of like it didn't make it so like every card was too undervalued, but like people were very happy because so much nostalgia, so many good pulls, and so it was a very like it's a very well made like product, just very well made product. Um, Now the downside is that like Japanese will overprint a lot of times, and um, that'll cause issues, which I'll talk more about later. Says, but like every country has its sort of own print laws and stuff, and like their patterns and stuff. And Japanese like is just known for like always printing a lot. Versus like in English, like sometimes like it gets more like bursts of products, and even then like It's just not as available as you'd like to be sometimes, unless the market's like not that good. Like 151 English did stand like kind of stagnant for a while, but that's kind of because the market in general was kind of low. Um, but yeah, so these are reasons why um, like people do like this is a reason why you can look at 151 versus like the evolution set prismatic and terrestrial because in so let's just jump over that for now. So in terrestrial festival, oh wait, so prismatic isn't out yet, but if you look at terrestrial, oh, did I not? Because I didn't open it. Um, in terrestrial festival, I don't think they have it listed here, but because the data is still kind of um, new, but uh, I'll just look up Master Ball. So Terastal Festival also has the Master Ball cards, which I'm not gonna rely on this eBay these listings to show them very well, but they also have Master Ball cards, and so those are also gonna be chase cards because there are people who want to collect them. And actually, when I last checked price data, the Master Balls are rare enough that the price point that you'll pay for them um, is that they'll be similar price to the actual SIR evolution. So for Terrestrial Festival, the main chases are the evolutions, which are the 8 plus the EV, so there's like 10 in total. So it's like, and also the Gold Pikachu. So it's kind of these first 9. And I thought that there was one more, or I could have miscounted. Actually, that's 11. So it's like these first 11, and then this Gold Pikachu. And then those are SIRs, so you get one per box. Uh, and but then there's also the Master Balls, which it's not exactly the same version of these, but there's like an Umbreon that will have a Master Ball. Yeah, I think it's this one. So you see, like this normal one's $1, but if it has a Master Ball on it, then it becomes almost the same value. At least right now, the prices are a little shaky right now as this. So like, there's a lot, and then okay, so comparing to 151. So good or bad, Terrestrial Festival doesn't do one Master Ball per box, so it's hard to get the Master Balls. So that's good for the value of the set, possibly for an investor because it just makes the cards more rare, and that's probably why it's easier to get these. Um, 151 has the God packs, and Trust Fest has the God packs, which I didn't talk about the God packs as much, but that was part of the reason why people liked opening them. It's because like you might not get anything, and then in Japanese, sorry, this is so disorganized. What they would do in Japanese is that they would do the Charizard, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle evolution sets. So you get this Charizard. Wow, it's not sorted well in Japanese. I'll just do the English one. So Charizard, this Charmander, and then there's a Charmeleon there. So you get these sets every now and then. And then I've seen sometimes you only get one set. Sometimes you get two sets. Like I've seen like there's the Squirtle, the Blastoise with the Venusaur and the Bulbasaur, and then the middle evolutions. Or like I see the Squirtle with the Charmander and those evolutions. So I've seen variations of those, and so that's also a nice little chase. And also like these are like top cards either way. So even though like God cards make them a little easier to pull, like they're still like the best hits of the set. In English, I think like don't quote me on that. I think maybe there's you can get. I know someone who got a God pack. I know someone who got a Charizard God pack from UPC. So I know you can get it from English. Um, and so like that would affect how easy these cards to get, but also like it just makes it more enjoyable. For Terrestrial Festival, what they did was they did two versions of God packs, and one of them was there's three SR EV evolutions. There's some things of like reverse halls, so I'm just gonna ignore that part. I think that what I saw was like Vaporeon, Jolteon, and maybe Espeon. I think those three I've seen. I've seen those pulled twice. Don't quote me on that exact. I think it was those three, And then I've never seen this actually pull. I've just seen a picture of someone claiming they did it. But apparently, you can get like I think almost all of them, and that's like way more rare. And so that will affect the pricing because it will make them a little easier to pull in some sense, depending on how rare the god packs are. But it's also another thing to chase. So these are just a comparison of like what you can get. Like they seem to follow the three pattern. Um, but I do feel like it hurts them a little bit in the sense of like um, the the Charmander and the Charmeleon, they're like, or like the pre-evolutions are like good chase cards, but they're not necessarily like the best chase cards. I guess they technically are, but it's just like when people look at um 151, they're thinking of the Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur more than the pre-evolutions. Like they just have a higher priority versus like EV evolutions. They're kind of like comparable to each other, except for the Umbreon and the Sylveon. And so like if you get all three of them, it's like you just got three of your hits already, and so it just kind of makes a hunt kind of difference. I feel like, and so we'll see how it affects the pricing though. Um, okay, and so like, and then when you get all the EV evolution, then like all your chase cards are kind of pulled, and it just sort of like kills the hunt a little bit in that sense. And then again, I'll link a video on scams you get with Terastal Festival because there's some scamming things of like god packs and stuff. But yeah, it's just and there's mapability stuff because there's fewer cards. But okay, let's talk about price. So MSRP of Terastal Festival is about let's say $50-$60 for 10 packs. So that's like five something a pack, at least. And then for Prismatic, MSRP, let's say for ETB, was like $50, maybe plus tax or whatever. But then let's say there's about 10 packs, it's about $5. So actually, because like technically, Terastal Festival in Japan is about $35 when it was released, but that's only if you get in Japan. So, but if you get in English, it's gonna be about 50. It would have been about $50-$60. So honestly, like at that price point, they're actually about the same price per pack. So there's not really much of a discount if you just look at the kind of selling price with the MSRP of English. Okay, granted, English is going crazy, so an ETB in English is about double the market price in Prismatic. So, do I have it pulled up? So yeah, Prismatic. So yeah, like this ETB should be about usually $50. It's selling for 106. And then a lot of I've done a video on this before too, but a lot of the boxes are like double MSRP or more. Um, so there's just that. So technically, like it's kind of like 151 territory because that's actually the price of 151, but or even worse. But at 151 in English, is about $10 a pack now with the hype. And then in uh, Japanese is about $5 a pack. Actually, but the thing is with Terastal Festival, I said that was on release, but like the boxes are getting towards honestly $100. They're getting towards at least. So if you look at price charts recent sold, like it says 74 here, but this is kind of slow. But you know, I see some 85s, 80s, 75, 90, 160, 70. So it's about 70 to 90. So let's just say $80 to be honest, especially after taxes. So it just raises your cost per pack up by to like what $7.50, $8 a pack, something like that. Excuse me. Yeah, if it's $80, that's like $80. That's like $8 a pack. So honestly, the price gets comparable again, and so like the cheaper argument isn't necessarily as valid at the moment. But Smack hasn't been released yet. It could get more hyped up. But yeah, right now like it's not like 50%. It's not as clear. But granted, in when 151 came out, it also went crazy, and so like this at one point 151 was reaching $200 a box, so that's $10 a pack. So at least that's like one pattern to look at. Like a lot of these packs will reach $10 a pack at some point. That just seems to have happened, and then there's that big reprints. But yeah, those are things to think about when you look at Trust the Rest of Prismatic. The thing about oh yeah, I didn't mention the Master Balls. So the Master Balls for Terrestrial Festival only do appear like they do say they're going to appear in English, and so like For collectors, like it's gonna give them one less reason to buy Terrestrial because um, if you can get the Master One English, like there's like not a fear of missing out as much. We don't know details about the Master Balls and we don't know details of the God Packs, but if they put God Packs inside the English one, then it's just gonna be kind of like then there's really no need to invest in Japanese except for um, the pricey if you like it or whatever. In English also, um, it's harder to weigh the packs. So yeah, again, watch the video about the scams and stuff. But like, it's kind of possible to weigh packs and weigh boxes. Um, of Terrestrial Festival to get the god packs and stuff. But it's a lot harder to do it with Prismatic because they're usually just in bulkier products which are hard to weigh, like just big. There's a lot of other cardboard versus the boxes and the packs of Terrestrial are more efficient, and that makes it easier to weigh. And so that's just like another reason. But yeah, maybe you like the guaranteed pull rates, and I don't know how the pull rates are going to be like in English, so that's one thing. And then I don't know what other cards are going to put in because there might be other cards that are worth pulling, and then maybe the price. And then one of the last things is that the price of Prismatic and the availability is that it could skyrocket, and a lot of people like you. So these are like buy opportunities. So you can get Prismatic sometimes at MSRP from like ETB, from like Walmart or um, Walmart, like Target, like whatever. Um, they get eaten up almost instantly. So most people will not get them, but technically you can get it. And if you can get Prismatic at MSRP, that's like a definitely buy right now. Um, Terrestrial will have a chance to probably get more a little easier because even right now, like I can get Terrestrial pretty easily at the higher price, or at least like maybe at some discount somewhere or slightly. Prismatic, it's actually really hard to find anywhere except for like TCG Player or like eBay. Like except for the mass sites that have like a lot of stuff, like smaller sites which may have a discount, like it's all blown up. So it's just like availability. So sometimes some people will buy Terrestrial just because. And also as far as like space wise, Terrestrial Festival is gonna be way more efficient space wise because it's pretty compact and pretty small. Um, the products, especially products, are just really bulky in English, so they'll just take up a lot of space. If you're shipping and whatever, that will also be hard to ship. So, um, but yeah, and then obviously like, Terrestrial Festival is here now versus Prismatic isn't. But yeah, those are some comparisons with that. Um, but yeah, like this will probably be printed at some point, but I don't know how much it'll affect the price. Okay, so two other sets to compare this to are Crown Zenith. So Crown Zenith, so 151 was a little hard to compare it to because 151 had 20 packs per box versus Crown Zenith had 10 packs. Like these are called high class sets. I don't always know the difference, but what's called high class set, it usually just has 10 packs in it for Japanese. It's still considered a booster box, but it's only 10 packs. So this was some people are saying that Prismatic is kind of the Crown Zenith because this was like one of the last re- sets of Sword and Shield the previous era, and just had a lot of really good cards. So if you just look at these, like there's this Mewtwo really nice card. There's like these on Dialga, Palkia, Arceus, and then there's all these EV evolutions. There's all these legendary Pokemon that people really like. Excuse me. Um, and the prices are just sometimes they look ridiculously low. Um, but yeah, it was very sought after. Like they printed these a lot. They printed Japanese. They printed 151 a lot, and like it still survives to be like very valuable. Like it's very enjoyable to open. People didn't like Crown Zenith sometimes because the pull rates are really easy, so it just made the cards a little less valuable. But yeah, like you see, like it has like a lot of really good cards. So except for our universe, I put Crown Zenith up, but that's just English versus Japanese. But yeah, like you'll see that um, this whole set value is still like 920, and then the really nice chase cards are still there. So um, it's just something else to look at. So Crown Zenith, I don't have as much data on that for like the full data, but the box it kind of spiked the same time as 151, so it did go to like 230 box. Before that, was selling at 100. So this is just like potential for a trust vessel. Like it did, like B-Star did go to like hundreds, and then it kind of dipped down to like 60s, like kind of prices of trust right now, and then it's kind of going back up toward like 80 to 100. Japanese 151. It's been buying. It's going back higher now. It's actually spiked. I didn't even know that. It went to 110 on TCG. TCG is usually a little higher, but yeah, it's like it's horribly like closer to 100 now. But yeah, it's like 200 for like 180. So yeah, these are just like these boxes do potentially go up. I do think we're gonna hit certain price points at some point, but like how like you want to maybe not hold the whole time, or you have the dollar cost average in later. And then for um, yeah, Vstar Universe had a ton of reprints. Like I wasn't really here around when all that happened, but yeah, it was released probably around I think 2 years ago, and yeah, it's just affected prices. Like in English right now, there's like Crown Zenith Booster Bundle Sea and Sky, which has decreased the price per pack. But yeah, it's gone up and down a lot. Um, I don't know if I ever went to $10 a pack though. And then the clear, obviously, you have to compare it to Evolving Skies. This is the thing everyone is talking about. The booster box prices are close to like 1,000, and obviously there's a ton of EV evolution. I do feel like the EV evolutions, at least some of these, are better in Evolving Skies, and there's just these other nice chase cards like Rayquaza, Dragonite, and whatever. Like Terastal Festival lacks a little depth. Like aside from the EV evolutions, like it doesn't have like these other nice cards. Um, but although like since they have the master balls, I guess that helps. But I guess the other cards are kind of nice, but I'd say like the really nice cards stop here. So it's just kind of these first 12. Honestly, like some of these arts, I'm a little iffy about, like this Leafeon and Glaceon. I'm a little iffy about. But part of the reason why Evolving Skies was so popular is that also the pull rates are really hard. So like it's actually why a lot of the Sword and Shield products do really well because it's just so hard to get an Umbreon. Like I think like someone said you have to like statistically to pull thousands of packs in order to get this Umbreon. So like there's that one off person who just gets it, but like statistically that's why like these cards are so hard to get, and also why the price would vary. But Evolving Skies has generally made strong most of the time. I think the lowest it went down to 100 briefly, but it's always been like at least 120 to 140. Even when there's a crashes and stuff, Evolving Skies has done like really well. It has these rainbow rares, which people don't like as much, but yeah, there's definitely just a lot. Like there's a lot of EVs in here, even if like they're not worth as much. Like there are just a lot of EVs that people can get, so that also helps a lot. Versus, I think in Terrestrial, like they don't have. I don't know if people really want the other EVs as much. Like there's a bunch of like SIRs, and then the other EVs, so they just didn't do that for Terrestrials of all these guys. And then to look at Japanese, um, so like Umbreon. So yeah, this is EV Heroes. It's the Japanese version of Long Skies. It's doing pretty well. So like it's doing better than the Vista Universe is doing now. So like that's also a point for Terastal Festival. And Blue's Ice Cream is other set which has these three cards, and it's also doing pretty well because of Long Skies. But Long Skies is just an outlier. So you have to get points to Trust the Festival for being like Evolving Skies. They basically put stuff in Crown Zenith and Evolving Skies and made Prismatic and Terrestrial. So that's why it's like, and it's there's elements of Japanese 151. So they took some of the best sets recently, and that's what we have now, and that's why like this is also kind of opportunity. But we don't really know how well it'll do, and but I do think it'd be good to just look at those sets. 151 Crown Zenith, Evolving Skies, and there's other sets that I didn't mention that are actually worse sets that also has like Shining Fates. Not the greatest in the world, but it did jump up even though it wasn't as good of a set because it was during the boom of like the COVID or whatever. So we're kind of in that sort of period now. And so that also is things like it would go up to like I think 200, 300, maybe 400. I don't really remember. Like I don't have the data on that, but I think it went up to 400 in ETB, and now it's been sitting at like 50 for years because it was overprinted. It's not really that great of a set, but yeah. Um, Let me know what you think. Let me know if you want to use other sort of videos. Thanks. Bye.